Dear soul, what if I told you that someone you care about deeply is on the verge of revealing something that will change the way you see them, and perhaps even yourself? The angels have come close today with a message so full of divine truth and emotional clarity that your heart may tremble as you take it all in. This is not an ordinary message. This is a moment when heaven reaches into your life and turns on the light in a room you didn't even know was dark. There is a person who has remained quiet, perhaps even distant, while holding a truth inside them that is too significant to stay concealed any longer. You've felt it, haven't you? That flutter in your chest when their name crosses your mind. That unexplainable warmth when they look at you, even for just a second. Maybe you've wondered if it's all in your head. But it's not. The angels want you to know it's real. And what's coming next may take your breath away. This person has been walking a path of silence, battling a storm of emotions that they couldn't make sense of. They've watched you from afar, seen your strength, your kindness, the way you shine even on your hardest days. And though they've kept their distance, whether out of fear, confusion, or the burden of their own story, they've held you in their heart in a sacred, unspoken way. But silence has its limits. And today, the angels reveal that this limit is being reached. You are the light that gently illuminated their shadows, the energy that touched a part of them no one else has reached. Your mere presence has been a soothing balm, a reminder that love can be both gentle and powerful at the same time. And now they can no longer escape from the truth. What they feel for you is real, deep, and transformative. They've spent countless moments rehearsing the words in their mind. How do I tell her she changed everything? What if it's too late? Will she understand why I took so long? These questions swirl inside them, not because they doubt you, but because they know how much you deserve clarity, honesty, and a love that stands tall, not one that hides in silence. Your angels are orchestrating this moment. They are aligning circumstances, guiding conversations, softening hearts, so when the time comes, their confession won't just be words. It will be a sacred offering, a truth that says, I see you. I feel you. And I'm finally ready to show you how much you mean to me. Maybe they were once too proud, too guarded, or afraid of being hurt. Perhaps they've been taught that love must be logical, calculated, and safe. But you shattered that illusion. You woke something up inside them, something that doesn't care about timing or logic, something pure. And now, every part of their soul is pointing in your direction. The angels want you to prepare, not with fear, but with grace. Because what's coming is not a test. It's a revelation. A sacred unraveling of truths long buried. They are being moved not by impulse, but by divine timing. By the realization that keeping this love silent is more painful than the risk of letting it out. You may feel an energy shift soon, a message, a glance that lingers longer than usual, a hesitation followed by courage. These are signs, indicators that this person's soul has decided it's time to speak. And when they do, it won't be just an I love you. It will be, I've been carrying this love in my heart, waiting for the moment I could give it to you completely. The angels have shown me that this love is anything but ordinary. It's spiritual. It's the kind that awakens you, breaks down barriers, and calls both of you to a higher path. This person was meant to enter your life, not to complete you, but to reflect your own sacred depth, to remind you that you are deserving of a love that's brave, honest, and undeniable. They've envisioned this moment 1,000 times. How your face will look, what your eyes will convey, and whether you'll feel it too. Because despite everything, what they want most is not just to be heard, but to be embraced. And you, dear soul, are being called to receive this truth with the same grace that you've always carried. with an open heart, with compassion, with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that when the universe presents a moment like this, it's because you're ready. So let go of the fear. Release the doubts. Trust what your heart has been whispering all along, that something sacred is unfolding. That love, no matter how late, always finds its way when it's real. And that what they're about to say will make everything fall into place. The confession is near. Prepare to hear the truth you've always sensed, but never fully allowed yourself to believe. Because they're finally ready. And what they have to say will change everything. There's something extraordinary that happens when a person reaches their emotional limit, not from pain, but from love unexpressed. It builds up like a river behind a dam, quiet at first, but powerful. And then, it bursts. What's about to be spoken from their lips has been forming for longer than even they can comprehend. Because this isn't just about attraction or admiration. This is about destiny finally catching up to bravery. The angels reveal that this person is stepping into a moment of rare bravery. Their heart, once tangled in doubts and old fears, is now moving toward you with intention. They are tired of pretending. Tired of acting as if their feelings don't exist. Tired of living a half-truth when what they feel for you is so complete. The emotional armor is cracking. The walls are coming down. And love, raw and radiant, is breaking through. Perhaps you've already seen glimpses of this shift. A sudden vulnerability, a look that seemed to speak volumes, a silence that felt more like presence than absence. These are the signs. The universe whispers in subtleties before it sings in declarations. And this person is learning that some truths, especially those rooted in love, cannot be denied forever. What they've been keeping inside is more than just a feeling, it's a realization. A recognition that you are not just someone they're drawn to. You are someone with whom they feel a deep connection, someone who brings peace in their chaos, someone who somehow understands the language of their soul without needing words. This confession, when it arrives, won't be about drama or performance. It will be quiet, perhaps even tentative at first, but it will be genuine. And the moment it's spoken, you will feel it, not just in your ears, but in your entire being. Because it will carry the weight of everything unspoken. Of all the times they wanted to reach out and didn't. Of every moment they loved you in silence. Of all the times they hoped you'd wait, even if they couldn't bring themselves to ask you to. The angels want you to understand that your patience, your light, your ability to keep loving through uncertainty, none of it was in vain. You were never loving alone. They felt every ounce of what you offered, even if they couldn't yet respond. And now, they're beginning to realize that the love they tried to suppress is the very love that saved them from themselves. This moment of confession is more than just romantic, it's spiritual. It represents the unfolding of a divine promise. It serves as a reminder that no matter how long it may take, truth always prevails. And love, when it's genuine, always finds a way. They might say things like, "I've been scared, but I can't keep hiding anymore." Or perhaps, "I tried to convince myself it was nothing, but I've never felt anything like this." They may stumble over their words, unsure of how to express something so significant. But don't just listen with your ears. Listen with your heart. Feel the energy behind every syllable. That's where the true message resides. You may be tempted to question why now? Why not sooner? Why after so much time, confusion, and silence? But the angels urge you not to dwell on the past. Divine timing is sacred. This person wasn't ready before, not because you weren't enough, but because they weren't ready to see what love could truly demand of them. Vulnerability, surrender, transformation. And now, because of you, because of the quiet strength you've embodied, they are ready. Ready to speak the truth. Ready to stop pretending. Ready to show up with their whole heart, even if it's imperfect, even if it trembles a little. So take this moment as sacred, not as a reward, but as a revelation. You were never wrong to believe, never foolish to hope. This was never one-sided. What you felt all along was the truth waiting for its moment to flourish. When they finally speak, let your soul listen. Let your intuition guide you. Because the words may come wrapped in uncertainty, but the energy beneath them is pure. And it's that purity that will change everything. This isn't just about love. It's about awakening. It's about stepping into a connection that was meant for you long before either of you were aware of it. The angels have been preparing both your hearts for this moment, and now that it's near, they want you to embrace it fully. Let this confession remind you that the universe never forgets, that your love has always been seen, that what's coming next is not the end, but the beautiful beginning of a truth you've always known in your heart. They're ready. You're ready. And love, true, deep, brave love, is finally ready to be lived. Now comes the moment that shifts everything, the moment after the confession. What happens next is not only guided by the divine, but deeply influenced by how you receive this truth. The angels are clear. This is not a time to retreat into fear or uncertainty. It is a time to open up, to soften, to truly see what stands before you. Not just a person, but a soul that has finally gathered the courage to be honest. This person will likely be uncertain, perhaps even nervous after they share their heart. They've imagined so many outcomes: rejection, misunderstanding, even silence. But what they're hoping for most is not approval. It's connection. They want to know that their truth matters, that they haven't waited too long, that what they feel is still welcome in your world. The angels remind you now, your role in this unfolding story is just as sacred. You are not merely the receiver of their confession. You are the mirror, the anchor, the space where love can finally land. How you hold them in this moment, gently with patience and grace, will shape what comes next. Not out of obligation, but out of divine alignment. Because you, dear soul, have always been part of the plan. Perhaps you've had moments of doubt. Maybe you've questioned if this was ever real, or if you were simply imagining something deeper than what was actually there. The angels want you to know, your intuition was never wrong. You weren't making it up. What you felt was the soul of this person reaching out to yours, even when their words didn't match. Especially then. This moment will validate that. But it's not validation you needed, it's understanding, clarity. And that's exactly what's coming. They will likely share things that finally explain their distance, their hesitations, and the reasons behind the mixed signals. And suddenly, the timeline that once felt fractured will begin to make sense. Their actions will find context. Their silences will have meaning. Not as excuses, but as the natural evolution of a soul learning how to love honestly. You may be tempted to protect your heart, to keep your guard up just a little. After all, you've walked through seasons of longing and uncertainty. But the angels gently invite you to consider this. The love that asks us to stay guarded isn't love. It's fear in disguise. Real love, this kind of love, calls for presence, openness, the willingness to believe again. And so they ask you, can you be soft in the face of uncertainty? Can you offer grace, not because it's owed, but because it's sacred? Because this person isn't just confessing love. They're offering you the most vulnerable parts of themselves, their truth, their fear, their hope that maybe, just maybe, it's not too late. The angels assure you, It isn't. In fact, this moment has been waiting for you both. It has been building in quiet, cosmic ways. Every coincidence, every unexpected reminder of them, every time you thought, why can't I forget them? It was the universe keeping the thread alive. Because love like this doesn't die. It waits. It transforms. And when the time is right, it returns. And this is that return. From this point forward, everything shifts. The energy between you will feel different. Clearer. Brighter. The veil has lifted. And now, with truth on the table, you both get to decide what this next chapter looks like. The angels won't dictate it. They offer support, guidance, protection, but the choice is yours. Will you lean in? Will you meet this love with the same honesty it finally brought to you? If your heart says yes, even quietly, then you are already being prepared for what's next. A season of deeper connection, of soulful conversation, of rediscovering not only each other, but yourselves in each other's presence. This is the divine reunion of two hearts that never truly parted. And if there's hesitation, let it be met with compassion. It's okay to take your time. Love doesn't rush what is sacred. Let your intuition lead you. Let your soul speak. And most importantly, trust that the same force that brought this truth to light will now guide every next step. You are not alone in this. The angels are with you, with every breath, every heartbeat, and every sacred decision. They want you to know you were chosen for this love, not because it would be easy, but because it would be real. And you are ready. So when the words come, when the confession finally unfolds, receive them not just as a revelation, but as the long-awaited answer to the question your heart has been asking all along. Was it real? Yes, dear soul. It was. And now, it's ready to be lived. In the days that follow this confession, you may notice that the world feels a little different. Not because it has changed, but because you have. When truth enters the heart after a long wait, something sacred shifts. The fog lifts. The weight lightens. And suddenly, the questions that once kept you up at night begin to dissolve, replaced by a quiet certainty. It was all leading here. This person's truth has created a doorway. And now together, you get to choose whether to walk through it. There is no pressure, no expectation, only invitation. An opening where there was previously a wall. A chance to rebuild, or perhaps to build for the very first time, something rooted in honesty, not assumption. Connection, not confusion. Love, not longing. And that love, the one you felt even in silence, is ready to breathe freely now. To express itself in ways it never could before. Not just through words, but through actions. Through presence. In the way they look at you when you're not paying attention. In the way they ask about your day and genuinely want to know. In the way they show up, not because they have to, but because they finally want to. You will feel the difference. Because it will no longer be one-sided. It will be mirrored, echoed, reflected. The angels are guiding both of you into this new season with gentleness and grace. They want you to remember that this isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Showing up, flaws and all, with hearts wide open. Yes, there may be wounds. Yes, there may still be fear. But now, you both carry the medicine, each other. There's something else the angels want you to know. You are not responsible for carrying the emotional weight of this relationship alone anymore. You've held so much, given so much, believed, even when there was little proof. And now, it's time for balance, for harmony, for the beautiful exchange of mutual vulnerability, where you don't have to guess how they feel, because they tell you, because they show you. This person has learned that love cannot survive behind walls. That truth, though scary, is the only path to real intimacy, and that you, with your compassion and your quiet strength, are the safest place they've ever known. You didn't demand it. You didn't chase it. You simply embodied the kind of love that calls the soul home. The angels want you to celebrate that, to see your own beauty in this journey, to recognize that your intuition, your patience, your refusal to stop believing in something deeper, none of it was in vain. You've been preparing for this moment not just in your heart, but in your soul. And now, a new chapter begins. One where both of you are no longer guessing. One where silence no longer holds secrets, but rather space. One where love, after hiding for so long, finally takes its rightful place. Center stage, fully seen, fully heard, fully lived. This isn't the ending of a story. It's the sacred unfolding of one that was always meant to be. The angels have seen it in your dreams, felt it in your prayers, and held it in their hands as they watched you both grow into the people who could finally hold this love with the care it deserves. So now, they ask you to breathe. To let go of the old stories that said love must hurt, must be hard, must be earned. Because this love, it's already yours. Freely given, freely received, finally spoken, finally real. Let it in, dear soul. Let it change everything, because that's what it came here to do.